Is Microsoft about to put ads in Game Pass? Well, there's a survey going around that shows they might be thinking about it. Hey everybody, I'm Little Bobby here with 59 Gaming Direct, and today we're here to talk about a new survey that's going around from Microsoft about a cheaper, quote-unquote, ad-supported version of Game Pass that Microsoft is trying to float the idea for. But before we continue, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new here and hit that notification bell if you want to keep up with all the news, reviews, and other content we put out here on 59 Gaming Direct. All right, moving right along, we're getting into this article posted on Eurogamer.net. Microsoft may be introducing cheaper ad-supported Xbox Game Pass tiers. The article reads, an unsourced screenshot written in Spanish and shared on Reset Era via VGC, that's videogameschronicle.com, alleges that Microsoft is surveying players and exploring a tier-like system similar to that of Ubisoft Plus and Sony's PS Plus by inviting them to, quote, consider hypothetical subscriptions. The hypothetical family plan looks to be offering the full benefits of the current Xbox Game Pass service for 5 users across consoles and PC for £22 a month, while a £3 plan would essentially give a single individual Xbox Live Gold-like plan that delays access to Microsoft's first-party games for 6 months after release and would run adverts before you play a game from the Xbox Game Pass library. So we definitely need to talk about what this means, because this is an absolutely enormous change. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but either way, all of it is pretty big in terms of how Game Pass is going to function in the near future if this survey is in fact real. Now, we have heard rumblings of an Xbox family plan for quite a while. That's been something that's been floated across the internet as a rumor, and I think that's actually a huge step up. This is one of the things that Nintendo does with the Nintendo Switch family plan, and I had a friend of mine who had a full Nintendo Switch Plus expansion family plan. She added me on there last year. I loved it so much that this year I actually stepped up and got my own subscription to that. I didn't want to, just like kind of ride off somebody's thing, but it was nice for her to let me use that and try it out for a couple months before I had to re-up my own subscription. Anyway, family plans, as long as they're not outrageously priced and they are a real value, are something that I feel is very, very pro-consumer. I would love to see this out of Game Pass, even though I think I'm the only one in my house who subscribes to Game Pass. I know that for those Xbox families where there might be a few siblings living together or even roommates who want to share the Xbox Game Pass subscription cost, they can do that, and that'll let them save a little bit of money. However, we need to talk about this €3 plan, which I think I said it was £1 earlier, and I believe this is €3. This €3 plan that is going to give you a very simple Xbox Live Gold plan with 6-month delayed access to first-party games. Microsoft, you have set up the expectation with your player base that they're going to be able to get first-party day-and-date games for their Xbox, and now you're trying to get out of that by saying, hey, we'll offer you to not take those first-party games right away, and we'll let you do it cheaper, but you're going to have to sit through ads. So there's two problems with this. One, it's the day-and-date releases. The day-and-date releases have basically assured that Microsoft first-party games are no longer selling, at least nothing compared to how they used to, right? We used to see Halo sell millions and millions of copies. Now, I guarantee you the Halo Infinite campaign, I guarantee you that probably sold less than 2 million copies. Xbox doesn't publish numbers anymore because their game numbers for first-party games have been atrocious the past decade, and they try and lay it all out as, hey, we're writing this as Game Pass. Everything's Game Pass now. We're not going to talk about numbers anymore on our sales, because if we did, then like you might forget about Game Pass. But I think the real reason is they know that Game Pass destroyed their first-party sales. So after we see Xbox destroy their first-party sales with Game Pass, we see Phil Spencer just a few weeks ago say, hey, we're going to have to raise the price of basically every first-party game from now on. And this is 6 months after they were kind of trying to say to Sony, hey, you didn't need to do that. That was just greedy. But now they're doing it, even though they basically said that they weren't going to be needing to do that at any point. But we see that they're doing that likely because Xbox is losing a ton of money for Microsoft. It's got to be coming up with the Microsoft board of directors that, hey, this whole division has not made us any money ever, and it's been losing us a ton of money every year for the past decade, right? I know we all felt it when Xbox One came out, that Xbox was like, it was done. There was nothing they could really do after that point. And so many people want to hang on to Xbox and say, oh, it's such a great brand. Look what they do with Game Pass. Well, just like we said before, Game Pass is going to shift. And if you want to talk about the other monumental shift, It's running ads before games. And we need to definitely talk about this because this is insane to me. And I can't even believe they're floating this idea, because if this is actually real, if they're thinking about playing advertisements before you play a game from the Game Pass library, that is it. Game Pass is done. I do not care what anyone says. Game Pass is going to die a very slow and painful death if they start putting advertisements before you play a game. The same thing happened with Twitch. So many less people use Twitch nowadays than did just a few years ago because they started putting ads into Twitch. If Microsoft starts putting ads into Game Pass, they're going to see that revenue in the ads, and then it's just going to get more and more. It's going to go from one ad before you can play to like, it's got to be a minimum of 2 minutes to it's got to be a minimum of 3 minutes. And then every 30 minutes, you've got to watch at least a 30-second ad, right? We've seen this with Hulu. We've seen this with Netflix. We've seen this with every subscription service that adds advertisements. There just gets to be more and more ads. If you haven't watched Hulu lately on the normal, like whatever, like base plan, I have Hulu's base plan, and it's basically like TV now, where you have to watch like a minute and a half of ads every 5 to 6 minutes, and it doesn't feel good because it's like TV. Now, it's not as egregious as TV. If you haven't seen actual live TV lately, like I don't really watch much live TV, but when my parents are watching live TV, I will see that on there, and there will be like 3 minutes worth of ads at a time, and it happens like every 5 minutes, and it's painful. That is what happens when advertising enters media. The people putting the media together will see that, oh hey, this is actually making us some money, so we need to do more of this because we need more money, especially a division that has been as unprofitable for so long as Xbox has. If they start adding advertisements into Game Pass, that will be it for the cheapest version of Game Pass. Now, here's the other thing about adding the ads is, remember Netflix? Netflix was ad-free for a long time. But they finally did add a plan where ads would be put in, and you could keep your ad-free plan, no problem. But the ad-free plan went up in price, and that is exactly what happens. The same thing happened with Hulu. The same thing happened with Peacock. Every single one of these subscription services, as soon as there's an ad-free plan put in, if it's the cheaper plan, let's say Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass right now is $15 for Game Pass Ultimate for your Xbox and PC. Cool. I'm going to pay for that. Awesome. But as you move forward, what's going to happen is they're going to go, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you a $9 Game Pass plan. It's going to have ads. You can't play games for the first 6 months. The first party games that we told you you'd always be able to play on Game Pass, you're not going to be able to pay those for the first 6 months. You're going to have to sit through ads. Oh, and by the way, the ad-free plan, it's going to move up to $20. And that's, I guarantee you, that's what's going to happen if they implement this ad-free plan. If you're an Xbox fan, I get it. Look, a lot of people here have called me a Sony fanboy for a long time, and I've never hidden the fact that I am a fan of Sony. I've had a PlayStation for every single PlayStation generation since the original PlayStation. I love PlayStation. I used to love Xbox too, but Xbox, since the Xbox One days, has been a real failure in terms of just what they bring to the table. I hoped after the 360, hey, maybe the Xbox One will give me a reason again to buy an Xbox, and it didn't. And then the Series S and Series X have come out, and they don't give me a reason because I have a PC. I'm not going to buy an Xbox. I get it if you like Xbox, but trust me, this plan, if you are a Game Pass subscriber, is going to do nothing but bring raised prices or a terrible experience for you. And you're going to be mad at anybody. You need to be mad at Microsoft for even floating this idea and bringing this to video games, because if they do it, they're going to push that onto everything else. There's very few things where it comes to the market, it's profitable, and it doesn't get picked up by every single game company. Look at the Battle Pass, right? If you look at a Battle Pass from Fortnite, right? The Fortnite Battle Pass was like so revolutionary and awesome. It's like, oh, I can play this game for free, or I can pay $10 and get all this cool cosmetic stuff. Well, now every other game released is free to play with a Battle Pass full of really shitty cosmetics. And we have to deal with that and trying to monetize every little thing about every game, because that's what's happening with the game industry. And if Microsoft puts out a plan where they put ads in and they make you sit through ads during your game, or even just before your game, you're going to see everybody else try and get away with that same thing. And if they do it, it's going to ruin the industry. Please, I'm telling you right now, if you are a Game Pass subscriber, if you have an Xbox and you get this survey, you need to absolutely say, no, I will not pay for that. I will not pay for that. because that's going to be what tells them that's a line they can't cross. If they cross that line and it works for them, then that's going to be it. All hell's going to break loose, and we're going to see ads in every single game. You're going to see it in Switch. You're going to see it on PS5. You're going to see it probably on Steam and Epic Store, and whatever PC launchers you have. Lord knows there's 5,000 of those. But anyway, what do you think about this news? Are you interested in a Game Pass subscription that is cheaper but makes you sit through ads? Right now, they're saying before your gameplay, but we have no guarantees that it's not going to end up inside the middle of your gameplay if it's implemented and successful. And on top of that, are you also okay with like losing that day one access to Microsoft first party titles if you're paying less? I mean, I get it. Some people don't mind. They just want to kind of have that gaming as an entertainment. But a lot of us, we really like to keep up on, you know, the kind of newer stuff. And if they're making you pay more, are you going to pay more to keep that access, especially with like the lackluster offerings that Microsoft has had over the past decade? I mean, personally, I guess I could see like the €3 plan being okay if you're one of those people who doesn't really care about keeping up with the newest games right when they come out. I mean, I know a lot of people like that, and I don't judge if you're a person who doesn't mind waiting for your games. But to me, it really seems like Microsoft is looking now to really milk this install base. They've gained some market share, right, from the Xbox Series X and Series S. They've gained a significant market share, probably much more than they would have if they didn't have the Series S. And now they're trying to use that Game Pass kind of and weaponize it, right? It was kind of like a sleeper agent that they're trying to weaponize now and go, hey, you can keep this Game Pass, but you're going to have ads in front of it, or it's probably going to go up in price. And I don't like that personally. I really don't like that. There's been a lot of talk about how Xbox is pro-consumer, and I've said, you know, Game Pass may seem like it's pro-consumer, but it's going to be anti-developer in a lot of ways. And a lot of developers, especially developers who work for big companies, have come out and said that. So now are we finally seeing how they take this quote-unquote pro-consumer thing and turn it against the consumer? We might be, if any of this comes true. But again, let us know down in the comments, what do you think about this? Because this is really serious in my opinion. I think that we really have an issue here if Xbox plans to do this, to kind of go back on their promises of what Game Pass would be, and especially implementing ads into video games. I do not want to see that at all. I will happily pay for games, and that is why I want a disc. I want to be able to put it in, and I want to be able to not have to watch an ad before I start playing my game. I don't know about you, but that's how I've always played my games for 35 years about. And I would love to keep it that way. But again, let us know down in the comments below. I'm Little Bobby here with 59 Gaming Direct, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks so much for watching today. Hit that subscribe button, a like, or leave us a dislike, and let us know what we can do better for next time in the comments down below. We hope to see you soon.